Hello there, listening people. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek.
And you are listening to Spit and Polish presents Unappreciated Masterpieces.
Underappreciated masterpieces.
Under?
Yes.
Not unappreciated?
No, it's underappreciated.
Oh no, the whole page has been called Unappreciated Masterpieces.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking. Unappreciated's a word, right?
It is a word, but the show is called Underappreciated.
No, I've been calling it Unappreciated Masterpieces, as in they have not been appreciated. Not
really?
Not that they are undervalued.
Are you pulling my leg?
I'm not pulling your leg.
Whoa!
So,
oh god.
So Bartek has just learnt the name of the show is Unappreciated Masterpieces, not Underappreciated Masterpieces. You, welcome to the show anyway.
Welcome to the show, we're professional.
We talk about such forgotten gems, such magnificent classic films, such as, what are we talking about today, Bartek?
We are talking about Kangaroo Jack.
Which is...
It's a film that we're watching.
or Kangaroo Jack, for those who do not speak Polish or understand it, just like me. And we are spitting Polish, likingly, because we're always spitting, and we are both, of course, Polish.
Mm-hmm.
And our guest today, our non-Polish guest, is Luke Peverelle, our Australian guest.
Hello, everyone. Last year, on my birthday, Ryan got me this film. For some reason, we're still friends.
Yeah, we're still friends. I got him the film because legendary actor, Oscar winner... Christopher Walken's in the film. And I knew that Luke would appreciate any film I got him for his 21st birthday. Mm-hmm. So I thought I would make sure to get him a film classic, such as Kangaroo Jack. Now, Kangaroo Jack is one of those classic films that encapsulates what it means to be a film, but also I think it's the first film, guys, in which, on this series, it is not a kid's film.
No, that's just it. It's very deceptive.
What I get constantly asked, since we've started this show, I've talked about the idea of it, in which we talk about unappreciated masterpieces. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I've listed off ones we're going to do and ones we have done, and a lot of people have pointed out to me, are you just focusing in the area of kids' films? And no, that's not the case. It's just a lot of kids' films have been unappreciated. A lot of kids' films have been, not looked after by the general masses as much as they should be. So today is the marking off the first occasion of us getting into the adult world of film, which is...
It's a brave new world.
It's a brave new world, which is Kangaroo Jack. So we shall be starting Kangaroo Jack in 3, 2, 1, play. There we go. Nope. Wait. The DVD is yet to start. So again, this is the second countdown for Kangaroo Jack. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh, Ryan, you're my favourite.
Yes, it played. Okay. It is playing. That countdown is still valid, everyone, in case you're wondering. We are now 10 seconds in case you were wanting a precise thing, because there's a bit of a mix-up there. Of course, this is a Warner Brothers film and a Jerry Bruckheimer film.
Yeah, The Lighthouse.
It's Jerry Bruckheimer film. How does that make everyone feel?
How does it make me feel? Not often, and unhappily when I do it.
It makes him feel unappreciated. I'm never going to get the end of that now.
No.
Oh my god,
there's
there are kangaroos on the road.
There's kangaroos in the Jerry Bruckheimer films, yeah. So Jerry Bruckheimer, this was 2003 this film came out, and this was, Jerry Bruckheimer's film career obviously going places because, CSI is happening and Kangaroo Jack.
And this is your backyard.
This is
my backyard.
I'm talking to Luke about that.
Yeah. This is Australia, mate. This is the land down under.
Well, that's not. That's America.
Now we're back in the States.
1982, different time to be alive.
That's the year The Thing came out. Another great movie.
There you go.
Well, that one is appreciated.
That is appreciated. I like the fact there he is. Christopher Walken.
The man himself.
I like how 20 years from now, in this film's universe, he hasn't aged a day.
Yeah. He's got that special skin cream.
He is Salvatore Maggio.
So I just want to point out, I saw this film in the cinemas when I was young. There were very few things I remember about it, One of them was this beach scene because I remember I ate the popcorn before the film started.
Ah.
All of it.
All of it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So, Bartek, this is the first time since we've started the show in which you've actually seen the movie before, and you also saw it in cinemas. I did not see this in cinemas, if I'm going to be honest with
What a
you.
loser.
Captain Amazing Compass. Now, this is one of the first things I want to point out within the film that is brilliant, is he has a Captain Amazing compass, but then when he is, spoiler, about to drown, the other kid jumps in to save him, and you have the Superman theme playing, like the actual theme from the movie Superman, and it just makes me question, why couldn't they just be a Superman compass in the first place?
That'd be too easy.
And I think it's like, obviously they couldn't get copyright to Superman's image, but the music, yeah, Christopher Walken, definitely, and of
There
course,
he is.
Australia.
It's because this film was setting a trend.
To be fair, Captain Amazing looks nothing like Superman. If in that brief shot you just got at the compass, they look very different.
No, it's
Well,
clearly
like
Captain
I said,
Amazing.
it's setting a new trend.
Yeah, of amazingness.
So, Bartek, you actually got to see this one in the cinema. I didn't get to see it in the cinema. Again,
Yeah.
each one of these films, haven't seen them in the cinema when I was a kid. I actually remember the advertisement for this film more than the film. I probably didn't watch this movie until I was an adult, a full-grown adult, in which it was perfect for me because it's a film for adults.
It really is. You're going to see this.
There's young Michael Shannon as a kid.
I'm going to be straight up with you. The soul shining light in this film.
I think you're forgetting that the kangaroo was in it.
Yeah, please. Forgive me my errors. Anyway, here's the present day.
The present day in which he is now a hairdresser. Yeah, I didn't get to see this movie, Bartek. You did. Best decision of your childhood?
I mean, look, when you're a kid, you're not quite smartness as you are adulthood. So I'm much smarter now, and I can appreciate it for what it is now. When I was a kid, it was like, watching... It was the exact same as watching Citizen Kane. You just don't get it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I compare this film a lot to Citizen Kane. All of them are Citizen Kane related. Now, they're both adults now. I think they did all right casting-wise.
Both handsome.
Both?
Yeah, except... I don't know, even before knowing who this guy is, you just know that he's never going to be in anything good.
Who?
The guy playing, the white guy.
The white...
Racist.
I know.
The guy playing the white guy?
The guy playing the white guy.
I thought, Luke, you didn't see Race.
People
tell Luke is white, and
Race
he'll just
is
have
a
to take
Bollywood
he'll
movie.
just have to take their word for it because they call him Sir.
All right. Well, do you know his name? Because we got to give him a name.
I do believe
the character's name's Charlie.
the character's
That's
name
right.
is
Okay.
Charlie. If you paid attention to his narration, in which his name is Charlie Carboni.
Excuse me. The landscape shots of Australia held my gaze for too long.
I do like this film does have narration for like 2 scenes, and then the rest of the film there is no more narration. The narration is gone. It was just an establishing thing. Like, got to establish the universe we set. The audience may not get it.
Like I said, they were setting a trend. They didn't want to rip off Thunderpants too much.
They didn't want to rip off Thunderpants. That's true. Waffles. I like the dog Waffles. I thought, if this film was a lesser filmmaker, they could have actually made Waffles have a point in being the film, but thank God they didn't,
Well,
because
they only had one
there's
element,
too many
right?
storylines to keep track in lots of films in general, but this one keeps it short, sweet, and to the point. He's shaking it, he's dancing, he is driving the van as if he was dancing. I mean, this stuff you do not get in stuff these days, like, The Martian. I'm sure, I have yet to see it, but I'm sure there is no
Dancing.
quirky black comic character driving a van as if he was dancing.
No, but I will have to say the soundtrack to The Martian was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it as good as the one in Kangaroo Jack?
No, obviously not, but... That's it, yeah.
So, Luke,
Yes.
when I gave you this as a present, were you happy?
I felt a lot of things in that moment.
Especially happiness.
Yes, it was in there, but there was also some consternation and conflict. Other words starting with C.
How long did it take you to watch it?
Over a year.
And how did you watch it?
I was at your place where I'm sitting right now, and I needed several beers to get through it. Just so you all know, I'm doing the drinking game with this
Because
film.
he is
Anything that
Australian.
makes... Yeah, absolutely, mate. Anything that makes you cringe, any comic relief moment that doesn't quite get off the ground, you take a drink.
So Luke won't be drinking that much during the film because everything lands. Isn't that right, Bartek?
Yep, whatever
Yeah.
you say, right?
There's going to be a scene later where there's going to be plenty of landing.
yeah. Literally and metaphorically,
Yeah.
spiritually even.
You better strap yourself
And
in for that one.
religiously.
Don't get me started about the religious connotations of this film. Last week it was the main character was Jesus. This week this is clearly a Noah story.
No, dude, you can't say
Look at all
last
the-
week.
no.
They might watch this in
Look
sequence.
at all the fish and presumably loaves. It's a Jesus story.
Well, we were talking... That's true. We were talking about landing, but there's a lot of crashing in this scene. Literally, because they're cars. Why are you guys silent? I can hear a plane flying outside.
I personally
I was
like...
busy, but I'm back
when
now.
I saw all the fish, I couldn't stop but think about Matthew Broderick in Godzilla,
That's what I was
in which they drop a whole bunch of
Yeah,
fish,
he
and
was
their
in that film.
punchline is like, "That's a lot of fish.
That's quite a lot
Yeah.
of fish.
That's quite a lot of fish." It's like, thanks, Matt.
And now here we have Luke's uncle.
Luke's
Yeah,
uncle.
This is my uncle Victor. He got out of the slammer 6
the
months ago.
Italian gangster. Yeah.
He's taking what he learned in the joint and he's applying it to real world
Luke,
situations.
as someone with Italian heritage,
Yes.
when you watch mobster films in which you got these kind of guys, I was like, "Oi, do you feel connected? Like, that's my uncle, that's my sister, that's my brother." Like,
I
when
feel like,
you watched this film, did you feel haunted by how close it was to your actual family?
You know how like the houses they're always like very dark and they've got the fancy paintings on the walls, everything that's kind of old world, mafioso. My nonna's house is like that, so when I see that, I'm like, yeah, there could be tortures and drug deals and shady shit going on in the upper reaches of nonna's house, but I wouldn't know because we're not allowed up there.
Now, nonna means grandmother.
Yes, nonna means
Which
grandmother.
in Polish
Those
would be babcia.
uneducated ones.
Yeah, we don't.
Thanks, Bartek.
I like police. If you're listening to this podcast, you heard it here from Luke Peverelle that his grandmother is connected to the mafia.
Yeah.
Get her.
Guys, if you're gonna get her, as Ryan calls it, please take backup because she is a fierce lady.
Well, my
Yeah.
uncle's a cop.
His uncle's a cop. You better watch out. And his great grandfather survived the Holocaust. So
Bartek
Well,
played
he
a
was-
cop in a play once.
Well, yes, I know, but he survived the Holocaust. That's because he was in a concentration camp.
yeah, he concentrated real hard to make it to life, so he could see Kangaroo Jack. Did he go with you to the cinema to see this?
Nah, he didn't. He was busy that day
And what was he doing?
thinking about
Kangaroo Jack.
Hitler. I don't know.
Thinking about Hitler and how Hitler wouldn't have liked Kangaroo Jack because
Hitler-
no one.
Can I just
who's
say the
evil-
cop who aimed his gun
Gun?
there into the this about a meter away in this slight
he can swim now.
curvature of the wall? How would they be hiding up there? I'm curious.
He can swim now. That's one of my favorite little.
That's called character development.
Yeah,
You
I
read
actually
about that.
noticed that
It's actually
because
evolution.
it's obvious. It's the
Okay,
point of
here we
scene.
go.
Here,
Here's our
here
first
he
scene.
is.
in Luke's Nonna's house.
Here we go.
Here we go.
My main man,
My main-
Christopher Walken,
Here he.
my boss. Of
Honestly,
the city.
he elevates every scene he is in. He elevates the movie to 5 stars to like 10 stars out of 5 stars. Like Christopher Walken is just the man in this. Like, what's
He's
he
the right
talking
man
about?
for his time and place, to paraphrase The Big Lebowski.
He is the second best character in the film by far.
Next to the kangaroo. Yeah.
Spoiler, dude. How do they know there's a kangaroo in the film?
I personally love the
I know.
line. I want to use more of his lines in real life. Like, what was the one? It's like, if you were a knight in armor, you would have killed the maiden and saved the dragon. It's like, I would use that more often. I like how he's got a little storyline of his own. Like, other than being, like, his stepfather and evil and whatever, he's got, like, this mini storyline about, like, how he's trying to learn more words.
Yeah,
Like,
we're about to say that actually. His wordplay.
Yeah.
overtakes
Like,
him.
he's... Bartek, you must have noticed this when you were a kid.
Here he goes with some more mouse metaphors. He did that in Catch Me If You Can. He's a big fan of it.
He's a fan of
He
mice.
talks about the mouse. The other mouse doesn't get up.
Because he has chicken blood.
Yes, here we go with the animal.
That's Chai
So,
Candy blood.
Bartek, you saw this. You must have, when you saw this as a kid, must have recognized the brilliance of Christopher Walken in this film, as
It-
well
it
as
was
the
more
brilliance
like-
of all of them.
It was more like, oh, it's that guy from Wayne's World 2.
Oh, yes. Yes, he was in Wayne's World too. And me as a kid, I didn't see it, so I saw it as an adult, and oh, here he goes with his words.
Anathema.
Anathema. A plethora. Look, they got me so I can't speak straight. I looked at it as an adult. I'm like, holy crap, Christopher Walken's in this. Yes. Perfect. One criticism of the film, obviously with a masterpiece, there's always criticisms one can make. It's, of course, constructive criticisms.
Bringing the kangaroo in earlier.
No. No, I feel like Kangaroo's brought in at the right time. He was at the start of the film.
The pacing is pretty good, if nothing else.
I would say the one thing is they should have had more Christopher Walken in it, definitely, by far. He should have been in it more. I missed his presence near the end of the film. I mean, you see him again a little bit, but not enough. I feel like that is the one downside of Kangaroo Jack, is not enough Oscar-winning actor Christopher Walken.
I've been there.
There we go. That's my backyard. Collar.
Mr. Smith.
Hey, Will, you know... I called you Will, Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really
How much are
screwing
you
up this
missing
episode.
him right now? You should call him.
Lucas.
Yo.
Lucas Pepperoni.
Okay.
If you really know about Cuba...
pepperonis.
If you know about Cuba Pedy, what mineral is famous there? Oh, sorry, what gem is famous
Jesus
there?
Christ, Marie, they're minerals.
That's completely correct. I was going to say that it's opals, but that is correct.
Thank you. But you're right, yes, opals.
I've been to Cuba Pedy. They're famous for
prime
opals.
We missed the great acting of Michael Shannon as the
Yeah,
grown
I'm
up.
sorry I didn't mention him. He was
Frank
in that scene.
Lombone.
Now, that right there is a guy taking a picture. It's obviously a reference to Thunderpants.
Here's something I like. What's he eating? He's eating like a steak, right? Look how easily he cut through that with that knife. He was like,
allegedly,
whatever.
he allegedly cut through it.
Okay,
He's
here
an
we are.
actor, a method one. He cut through that. This is a scene in which I wrote in my notes, jokes with a question mark, because I was a bit confused, because this has so far been a very serious gangster film. And now there's jokes in this scene, which is, in any good film, you have to have light moments to keep you grounded, or if you're forever in the darkness that is the human morality.
Which is
that
funny
this
because
film
they're both
brings up.
in a plane, a well-lit plane at that.
It's daytime.
But on the
They're
topic
not
of
grounded
darkness...
or in the darkness.
On the topic of darkness...
Sorry, I'm being
Lewis,
an asshole. Please continue.
Lewis is black, so that's darkness.
And thanks for listening to Unappreciated Masterpieces featuring racism from Bartek.
Sorry,
Remember,
I know
you
that
heard it here
it's sorry.
first.
It's a late racial slur to say someone's
Right,
black
racial.
when they're black.
I do like, his
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Yeah, there's some product placement. Note it.
I didn't notice that when I watched
I'm
it.
gonna write that down.
Here is some great pickup technique. All right. What's your next plan? Where do you go?
Well,
Obviously, his next
he
plan
was-
is to slip on
if
the
he was-
condom.
if he-
yeah,
if-
he's getting prepared.
If he was reading that book that Lewis was just reading, he would have said, "How you going?"
Yeah, well, g'day.
As Luke always
G'day,
says.
Sheila.
G'day, Sheila.
G'day. Any kind of thing you want to call them.
Well, now they've discovered that in there is money. The film made money.
And
did you
Not
know
as
that?
much as you'd think.
No, did you
but-
know that it made money? Like,
Really?
it was
Oh,
number
yeah.
one opening box office week because
God.
people thought it was going to be this rip-roaring comedy film for kids.
Kids.
The film, the trailers emphasized the talking kangaroo scene, which is, spoiler alert, in there, and gave a false impression to audiences that it was a family movie about a talking kangaroo. Thus, it achieved number one in the box office on opening weekend, and from then on, critics gave it poor reviews because they felt tricked and lied to.
And
But
they
that
were
was
crying. Wow, the movie was too smart
Critics.
for us.
Yeah, it was too. They knew it was a masterpiece, but they couldn't appreciate it because they were misled to think it was a kids' film. So they unjustly tore it apart and pushed it to the side for us to pick up all these years later.
Okay, so we have some pictures of Sydney, beautiful city, but we don't go anywhere near that.
No, because it's not set in Sydney.
No, which is funny. Why did they put that there?
Because
was a
the
reference to-
Australian countryside is beautiful. They're going to Sydney Airport so then they can drive. Pay attention. Like,
Yeah,
Sorry, I've already had one sip of my beer and already everything is starting to fade into a goopy mess of colours. And Lewis!
Do you want to talk, Luke? Luke,
Yes.
you did mention that this was your second time viewing it.
Yes, indeed.
And the first time was with me.
Mhm.
Could you fill us in what it was like watching it for the first time? How much you enjoyed it? How you said you had to drink to get through it, but that was because it was such a fun film, right? That if you drank, it would add to the fun, because that's what alcohol does, right?
I couldn't have put it better myself.
So what did you think the film was going to be about?
I like many people, I thought the kangaroo would actually talk, and there would be some bullshit reason for that. But he doesn't talk. It's a hallucination when he does talk. So
Spoiler.
yeah, sorry.
That actually gave me a laugh. Like
Do
when
not
I was
apologize
watching
for
it.
spoilers.
When I was watching it,
Yeah.
that scene where he like takes a selfie. This is before selfies.
Yeah.
So innovative.
Setting a trend.
Innovation.
Well done, Lewis.
And
Oh god, he said g'day, mate.
he said good day. But when he took a selfie with the guy at the border security, that actually made me chuckle for the first time in the film. Not saying that the other jokes didn't work. They were just for levity, you know. You were just supposed to be like, yes, good, because this film was a bit too serious to start with. Some might say the perfect mixture this film has between drama and comedy. This is up there with great classics like Seven and Saving Private Ryan, and of course,
£7.
that. When I watch this, I can't help but think this reminds me so much of Sophie's Choice.
I've not seen that movie.
It's if you like Kangaroo Jack, watch Sophie's Choice.
Oh yeah, I better be putting that on the list then.
Put it on the list, Luke. It's an emotional film, just like Kangaroo Jack.
This is the part where we hear our national anthem, is it not?
Yes. Everyone stand, salute, look attentive.
Get your copyright lawsuits out.
Down under, we are plunder and
young
thunder
and free.
Younger. We're going off road.
No, Charlie, this mystery.
No, you're not singing in Polish, Bartek, so I can actually understand you.
Yeah, you gotta play the sonata
Jeszcze
de Silence.
Polska nie zginęła.
Alright, enough of that.
It's Polish national anthem.
So Luke, you felt misled, but when you
Yes.
saw what it was actually about, you were proud. Did you thank me?
Taken on a roller
for giving it to you?
coaster of epic outback proportions, involving thrilling romance and sorry, I can't do this with a straight face.
It's called bromance.
It's called
Yes.
Bromance. The romance between the kangaroo and
the Jeep that hits it.
and the jeep that hits it is
It's
an
subtle, but it's-
unspoken...
Spoiler alert!
I'm
Look,
sorry,
I'm
Bartek.
sorry, but there is a kangaroo in this film, Bartek.
What? What?
Okay, Lewis is presumably rapping at this point
Oh yeah.
What do you mean presumably can hear?
because there are
You
no
can-
subtitles.
We watched this with subtitles with sound off, and they don't have the subs for the rapping, but they are rapping. This is what the other films lacked that we have watched, Bartek. No rapping. Okay, this film doesn't have great narration like Thunderpants, and yes, this film doesn't have Paul Giamatti in it like Big Fat Liar and Thunderpants. This is actually also our first film in which Bartek has already seen it. This is our first adult film, and this is our first film without Paul Giamatti. So I feel a bit naked doing this because I feel not as secure doing it as I did with those other two films, because those other two films, you know, they had those things in them, but each one of these unappreciated masterpieces has something that I personally think connects them all, which is the friendship in the middle of it all. The friendship between Frankie Muniz and Amanda Bynes, the friendship between Rupert Grint and Bruce Cook, the friendship between these two. Each one of these films is about how friendship during the darkest, dankest of times,
Dankest memes.
dankest memes of times can still survive against all odds.
Can I just say, I really like that you remembered Bruce Cook's name.
I'd also like to interject at this point, and yeah, that is the kangaroo.
That is a kangaroo?
That is the kangaroo that is Kangaroo Jack.
Oh yeah, this is Kangaroo Jack, who at no point is called Kangaroo Jack other than at the start when he goes, a kangaroo, Kangaroo Jack. Throughout the rest of the film, his name is Jackie Legs.
Yeah, and I don't know why.
Because he looks like Jackie Legs.
Only because they put that stupid jacket on him.
No, they put
I
the
get it.
sunglasses on him. That's why he looks like Jackie Legs.
I guess.
Did you know that these two characters are from Brooklyn?
I didn't know that.
I thought they were Australians.
I thought the kangaroo was from Brooklyn.
Okay, now he comes back to life.
Yeah, this is when the plot begins. I wrote several times plot with a question mark. As in, where is the plot? I was watching this today, earlier this morning. I tried to watch it last night, but I couldn't get through it because it was too magnificent for me to handle at 10:30 at night. But I watched it this earlier today with my housemate, and he thought this was a great film, actually. He was having a good laugh throughout it all. And that's what this film is intended to do. It's intended to make you cry, to make you laugh, to make you think. And this is the scene in which the thinking begins. Or you think, how big is this kangaroo? What's his dimensions? You think, how did he survive that kick?
A kick from a kangaroo can disembowel someone.
It didn't in this case because, as you can see, Lewis clearly tells that he is Superman.
Charlie is
It goes back to Captain Amazing again.
Not, pure vanilla human. He's got some mutant genes. That's a subplot also.
Yeah, what's the subplot?
He's coming to terms with himself as slightly more superhuman than he thought, but his inadequacy is also tripping him up, and that develops later on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so insane. I'm so glad you got Luke on the show.
I'm
learning things about this movie.
I'm glad to be here. I want to teach the new generation.
Bartek, you saw this as a kid. Luke, you didn't see it as a kid.
No,
and
I didn't.
I didn't see it as a kid. Usually when I encounter people who didn't see it as kids, I ask them, what were you doing? Why didn't you see it as a kid? Luke, what's your excuse for not seeing this as a kid? Now, you can't tell me that you didn't remember this film when you were a kid, because this film was advertised so much, because we are from Australia doing this podcast. We grew up here. Bartek, you're Polish, growing up with you're only learning Were you still learning English when this film came out?
I don't have this is the landing I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, we got a juicy hazard moment.
I don't think I mentioned this already. I don't have first, second language. I learned them both at the same time, with maybe slight more focus on Polish until I got to school.
Yeah.
In which case I struggled, had to do remedial English and all that shit.
Okay, yes, that's right. So, Luke, what was your excuse? Because there was no excuse escaping this, but I managed and you managed, so tell us.
Before I answer, what year did this film come out
2003.
Again? Okay, 2003. By that point, I was 10?
10.
Which is actually, if I was 14, then I'd be in that weird, middle part where this movie might be good for me, but might not. But yeah, you're right. Age 10... is the optimum age for viewing this film.
Yeah, this is a PG film.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
You weren't able to drink back then.
Exactly. I would have had to sip on some Coca-Cola and hope that the fizz would take away my torment.
No. Dude, this film has Pepsi product placement.
You're right. I'm sorry. I would have had to sip on a Pepsi.
Pepsi or in here, Australia, it's a beer because we don't care. No,
Foster's.
Luke, why didn't you see it?
I cannot say.
What were you doing? What were your parents doing? Why were they bad? Were you taken away by docs because of their negligence for not letting you see this?
I can only surmise that, seeing as it was the year before Halo 2 came out, I was lying in wait for that, and everything else was just not a concern.
And was Halo 2 good?
Yeah, it was real good.
Was it as good as Kangaroo Jack?
I don't know. I can't play Kangaroo Jack. If there was a video game
of Kangaroo... We're playing it on the DVD player now.
I'm saying if there was a video game of Kangaroo Jack, I would definitely play that.
Well, why are you talking about... Video games and films are very different. As you can tell,
but
video games made into films are
the preference
terrible.
Of the other.
Video game films are terrible.
Well,
Bob Hoskins can attest to that.
Technology can come a long way. We can just make a video game now of it, can't we?
Can
we'll have good graphics.
Can I just say, every time the 2 times now I've seen this chase sequence, I keep hoping it's going to segue into Mad Max, but it never does.
Stop, man. Just because it's an Australian has a car chase doesn't mean it's Mad Max.
Oh, yeah?
It could be Kangaroo Jack.
It's a bit of a niche.
This is unappreciated masterpiece, not overappreciated masterpiece.
My mistake, I'm sorry.
I can't believe you thought it was underappreciated masterpieces.
I can, because I did believe it.
Should I change it now? No, it's unappreciated. Unappreciated is a word.
It is a word.
And unappreciated are both words.
They're both words, and I just happen to think it was one of them.
Unappreciated still suits this show, right? Like, this is an unappreciated movie. Good.
Okay, you can... Is he bigger than all the others, or is that just...
No, he's wearing a jacket. Yeah. That's why he looks bigger.
No, he looks bigger now.
So, I didn't see this movie as a kid because, get this, shock. as a kid, this film didn't interest me when I looked at it. I know, ignorant Ryan, but that's why you grow up.
Bloody New South Wales.
I grew up in New South Wales, that's true. So I had kangaroos already, so I thought I didn't need the film. I already know what it is. I saw the trailers as a kid, and my parents were like, "Do you want to see that?" And I actually said no, which is one of my biggest regrets in life.
Look, could you translate what she's about to say for us?
Yeah, sure. By the way, Alice Springs, this is exactly what it looks like.
Yeah?
Down to the dust.
More murderers, though, in Alice Springs, right?
Oh, yeah, and John Jarrett is probably there, also.
John Jarrett?
Yes, or Mick Taylor, as he prefers to be known amongst friends.
Oh, cool. Luke's a friend.
The bog trough, the long drop, these are terms for summary execution. They are asking for their pain to be ended.
I thought it was sex positions in
No,
which she
although-
was offering to do the long drop.
As far as last rites go, sometimes you can find yourself having a conjugal.
Guys, those were slang for toilet.
Now, Bartek, I'm sorry, but you're a Polishman. I wouldn't expect you to understand.
Hey, Mr. Italian. Don't get so uppity at us Polish people, right? Just because we didn't join in fascism as easily as you did.
Hey, we
Calm
knew which
down.
way the wind was blowing. We
Yeah,
decided
which
to
was
hop on.
piano strings for Mussolini. That's the way the wind
Hey,
blew.
hold
Didn't it sound
on.
great, though?
First of all, we outnumber you 2-1. Second of all, he's Australian.
He is Australian.
You guys just inconsistencies.
No, this man, Mr. Smith here, introducing this new character, he's, like...
In Lord of the Rings.
He's meant to be Australian, but...
He's New Zealand.
Yeah. He's, he's an imposter. He's a double agent. You'd be a banger short of a Barbie if you didn't.
What does that mean?
That comes from our most ancient sacred texts. It basically means, I will take your mother out
Oh, cool.
to the party,
Uh-huh.
and...
I'll take your mother
Hit
out
on
all
another
night.
But what's my mother doing there, though, for?
Well, she doesn't get out much. She looks like she could use a good time.
Okay, I'll let her know.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt to treat your mother every once in a while. That goes for everyone listening to this podcast. Love your mothers.
Not in the way that Luke will love your mothers, because that would be wrong.
Yes, indeed, that would be wrong.
So, Luke, did you know that this Ridgy-Digi Australian guy right here...
Fair dinkum, true blue, spunk your mum Aussie?
Yes,
He is actually Bill Hunter, yes.
Yes.
He was the dentist in Finding Nemo.
I did not know that. But that, can't place a face when it's just a voice. But yes.
He was also in Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which
He was
is
also in
a
the Pacific
prequel
for
to
the
this.
Melbourne episode.
The what?
When the Pacific was on in that one episode in Australia, he was in that.
Who knew?
Yeah, well,
I don't even know what Pacific is.
The more you
Nobody
know.
knows. Only Luke.
It was a mini-series.
Now, here's
Mini.
an American woman in Australia.
She's
mind
Canadian, actually, the actress.
Yeah, but, I mean, the character.
The character is very, very American in Australia. This film is actually filmed in Australia, I do believe. It's so Aussie.
Well, yeah, we saw Alice Springs just there.
And we know that's
Yeah, it
accurate.
looked just like it did
I
in
would
Django.
like to draw, if I may, another parallel between this and Mad Max Fury Road.
Go ahead.
Can you?
Here we are in Australia, and the only real significant female character is with an American accent.
I don't see the comparisons because Mad Max was not filmed in Australia.
No,
It,
but it
so,
was
but
in
this was
Australia in the
was
film.
it? Was it? Didn't actually say.
Luke, you do remember that later on, the kangaroo's wife appears, right?
Yeah. So there's other.
Now, we have no
protagonists.
confirmation of whether or not that was the kangaroo's wife.
Hey,
Yeah,
look,
you
the
could
main character
clearly
said,
tell.
"Oh, it's your family,"
And they're married because even animals understand Christ.
and I think
It
Ryan
may
saw
well
the
be a
sequel.
de facto relationship. There's a lot of those here.
There's a sequel to this, Luke. An
Is it
animated,
direct-to-video?
an animated
Yes,
direct
actually, you're right, yeah.
video sequel in which the kangaroo talks.
And actually, yes, you're right. He does have a family.
So you
Does
apologize.
The wife, I may, but first of all, does the wife show up in this one?
Yes, at the end.
Look, that's actual Australian money. Can we get a holler for that?
Holla
if you feel me.
Holocaust, don't bring it up, Luke.
No, don't mention the war. I love how every guy in the bar is wearing the exact same hat.
Because we only have one hat, and that's a
Yeah.
So,
Cobra.
Luke, how many of those guys did you know?
Mick, Bill, Shazza,
They've all been with
Kazza,
Luke's mum. Who
Tomo,
hasn't?
Jono, Jacko, and Tutankhamun.
Oh,
Good
look,
friends.
they're setting up. They're setting up something, which is the dart.
The
That
dart.
is a symbol of capitalism.
Dart
and
is also
consumerism.
slang in Australia for cigarette.
Oh, who
So
knew?
they're planning to smoke this, this
I
kangaroo
think this
to death.
film is very accurate to Australian life. It has everything you need in the
Yeah.
film.
Don't talk, I'm getting horny.
Okay, Lewis is being an idiot, so I'm going to take a drink.
He's not being an idiot. He's showing that this girl is epileptic. That is a serious condition, Luke. I don't know if you have met anyone who's
We
epileptic.
have a friend
I-
who's epileptic.
I know. I know her, Lucy, right?
Who?
I'm not going to get into this on the podcast.
Well, now
but-
she's going to be in the show.
Who? I don't know if you're going to bring up future guests. I don't know what podcast I would do it with an epileptic. I
I hope
imagine
she says
one
yes
in a
now
An
that
night.
we mentioned
epileptic.
I imagine that we should do.
No, we shouldn't let any of those epileptics in here. You know, they're going to come over on
I'm
boats.
thinking of films that we could have her do, like, you know, films with like strobe lighting in them. That way we could
Ryan,
have a podcast.
Guys, you didn't
download a
realise it.
sensor sound and just put it over this whole bit.
In case you didn't
No.
realize it, listeners, Ryan likes
Is a
to make
kind
a joke. Likes to make a
soul.
joke.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, that's I say joke.
You should have heard what he called the toilet earlier.
I heard what you called the toilet earlier.
The pisser.
Now, Bartek,
Right.
we were talking about this just before the podcast. This film.
Oh, look, it's a Nokia phone.
I also got to ask, what older Australian man has a mobile phone in 2003?
This guy.
This guy, evidently,
He has
he's a real
plane,
businessman.
so he's a
We were
real
talking
techno
earlier
wizard.
before Luke came here, because Luke was late to the podcast. Even people who listen should know that Luke is always late
It's true.
to events. So we had to wait. So we had to talk about how this film really encapsulates the Australian attitude. This scene here, for example, he's driving the plane and he's still a bit drunk. but
Technically, it's
doesn't-
piloting, not driving.
piloting the plane, sorry, and he's fine. He's perfectly adequate at doing it. He's like, that's my morning routine.
Yeah.
I personally have a little bit of a problem with
Oh, he's Yassine.
Okay, Christopher is showing his character development.
how he's learning how to use more words in his vocabulary.
So what were you saying just then?
Oh yeah. I have a problem with spoiler alert. In a moment, the pilot gets shot with the dart. I know, shock.
Yeah.
It's not like they set it up or anything. But he gets shot, and like the stages are like temporary blindness, temporary paralysis, and loss of motor skills. Very ironic that he loses his motor skills because he is piloting a plane that
Yeah.
has a motor, so he cannot motorize that plane. So, good one, film. No, I was saying if he was a true Australian, I think it would have been better if they shot him and it just didn't affect him at all. Because he drinks so much anyway
Yeah.
that if he gets shot with it, it would just be like nothing made a difference to him. I feel like they lacked that Aussie moment there, you know?
Did you see the movie? It came out like last year, Hector and like the Quest for Happiness or something like that.
No.
It stars Simon Pegg.
Pegg? Yeah.
I saw it. There was like a drunk pilot guy in that film too, and that one is a very underappreciated masterpiece.
What, that drunk
Sorry,
pilot?
unappreciated masterpiece. The film.
I thought you meant the pilot. Well,
So I'm saying that film clearly was inspired by this.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Although that was a helicopter that he was flying, admittedly, but still.
It could fly, therefore it's related.
Also, he was singing a Human League song. That was great.
Oh, which
Human
one was
League.
it?
You were working as a waiter.
He
was drunk, so he was slurring it.
Yeah, he was slurring.
Oh wait, what? I think someone was doing that in The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
I saw
What, the
that.
original
Oh, no,
1947
sorry, the
Secret
sequel
Life
with,
of Walter Mitty?
with Ben
Oh
Stiller.
shit! I got the two movies mixed up.
Oh, Bartek.
What are you on?
Clearly, he's had more drugs than the guy flying this plane.
Oh my god, that was Walter Mitty. I
It
got my
was,
movies
indeed.
mixed up.
Tabakada.
But they were the same year,
All right,
so.
here's Jack, and he's about to get whacked.
Jackie Legs.
Jackie
About to
Legs
get
leaving the
whacked.
pack.
What was the word he was learning?
He was
Amorphous.
amorphous.
Amorphous. He's
Having no definable
about to become amorphous.
I'm afraid that's a misapplication of the word
Why?
because it doesn't apply
Why?
because it's not right.
How do you use it?
Well,
I'm only learning on the thesaurus right now.
Hey, nice word.
What thesaurus?
Yeah. Oh
Or
shit.
now.
Bill Hunter has just been.
Shot. And this is the
Tranked.
problem scene.
Bazza.
This is the only way to take down an Australian of an elderly persuasion. You got to trank him.
Persuasion.
Luke,
Yeah.
you seem the one here that has more negative connotations to this movie. It's time to get it out in the open, okay?
Yeah.
Give us some of your negatives about this movie, because
Okay.
with each film, we have on the occasion talked about the films only in positive light, because these films are pretty much only in positive lights, but some films do have the moments where they drop the ball, including this, including, Big Fat Liar, including Thunderpants, including Citizen Kane. All of them drop the ball in some little way for different people in different ways. Luke, how does it drop the ball, and where? Just give us an inkling.
Well, quite frankly, Ryan, I don't think the film was long enough. I wanted to know more about Michael Shannon's character, and what does he want? What does he get out of all this? Is he just a faceless mook for Salvatore, or has he got his own, aspirations?
He's going to run the family.
Yeah, but until then, what does he want? Maybe he wants to pursue something else.
Maybe he wants a wife and kids.
Maybe he just wants to get out of the biz.
Maybe he's gay.
Maybe he's gay.
For
See,
Jackie Legs.
All these
That's
questions.
bestiality.
Yeah, that's a pairing that you might want to look into if you're of the fan fiction.
So it's not long enough
aficionado.
for you. So this film should be. How long should it be?
Well, it stands at about 100 minutes now. I think we could squeeze in an extra 40. We could get some real character development, flesh out backstory, that sort of thing.
Make a mini-series.
Plus, I think some more CGI, because quite frankly, there's not enough.
Well, the technology was fairly new at the time.
That's true. I forget this year. 2003. That's it.
I would say my biggest drawback of this film would be, I feel like the kangaroo isn't in it enough. I already said Christopher Walken's not in enough, but the kangaroo, oh look, there's a cockatoo just on the bar in
That's
there.
cute.
I didn't notice that any other time when I watched it, so I feel like the Kangaroo Jack isn't in it enough. I feel like they really should have capitalized on the kangaroo. They should have had moments where the kangaroo is helping out other kangaroos, where it's like the other kangaroo's got his leg trapped and he saves it, and then he zips up the jacket and puts the hood on and then dances more. Not enough dancing of the kangaroo in this film. Not enough rapping. But everything else, perfect.
Indeed.
Bartek, what about you?
This film doesn't have any comparisons with Walt, the other movie I mentioned. Hector.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty, everyone.
No, Hector.
Hector. My mistake.
Is that its negative?
Yeah. Because it makes me look bad because I made the mistake.
Oh, but apart from that,
you were talking before
No
about the representation of the Australian culture in this.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's 1-to-1, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd describe it that way.
Oh God.
Okay, look, there is one thing, one very key thing that is missing. Luke.
Yes.
When you go to the bar and you say hi...
No, sorry, but I'm going to have to stop you there. We call it a pub over here, mate.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry.
Boris?
When you go to the pub, when you see your maters...
That's
your
mates.
mates?
Mates, yeah.
Yeah.
Mates, plural.
So how do you greet them?
Usually you can... Well, it depends on the scenario. If you're feeling a bit subdued, you can just walk in and say, "G'day, mate." But if you're really feeling patriotic, you're feeling your Australianness seeping up through your arteries, which are no doubt clogged with cheap Macca's runs, you can walk in and yell, "What's up, cunts?"
Yeah. I was more thinking of like the mad cunt.
Yes.
thing.
You see,
Yeah.
Mad Cunt is a title often bestowed, but very rarely actually earned. You see, Mad Cunt is the highest praise in Australia. If you're a Mad Cunt, you're great.
So this film
You're really great.
for you lacks the phrase "mad cunt."
Well,
Actually,
yeah,
you're
there
right.
are some mad cunts in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, this
No.
guy's a mad cunt right here.
Okay.
This
Here
guy's
we
the
have
maddest.
the only Aboriginal person
Well,
in the film,
Luke,
except for at the end when there are several more.
what? He is the other. Like at the end, spoiler.
I could have
It's
sworn
still
there was
him.
some others.
I don't know.
I thought there might have been some deputies who were.
Oh, maybe. I like that he's just like, yeah, hunters. Meh. Like, I love Michael Shannon in this movie.
He's so well suited to this environment.
I think this would be one of his first big film roles, actually. Michael
Only
Shannon.
big film role.
Oh no, dude! Did you not watch him in the great film in which it's him and he's worried about a rain or a big giant storm. I think it's called The Storm. I can't remember.
Yes, actually, The Storm. Great movie.
Weird movie.
It's a bit weird, but Michael Shannon is great.
Michael Shannon, I feel, is one day going to be that actor in which everyone's going to be like, oh, that guy's awesome. Like, he's going to be the Michael Fassbender, he's going to be that actor where it's like every movie he's in, there's going to be a good performance, but also slightly eccentric. He's still coming into his own. People are still finding out about him. He's still getting in bigger movies. But, I mean, he was in Groundhog Day. That was his first big film. He was in Groundhog Day. Yeah. This would be his second big.
Is this a reference to the Michael Jackson music video?
Yeah, I think it must have been.
Really? I'd say it as a reference to Lawrence of Arabia. But
you see the way he was leaning forward?
Yeah. This film, lots of symbolism in this one. This is, of course, one of the greatest films ever made. I saw it as an adult, and I can't
Mr.
get
Smith
over...
is laying the hurt. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is an adult, and I can't get over the fact that I never saw it as a kid. I should have. My mistake. Bartek's the only one who's done the right thing here.
Now this is not far from my house, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, if you go down the road, go up Burwood Highway for a while.
Don't tell them where you live.
It's okay. They won't be able to find it. We miraged it.
Yeah, you can't see it with its giant Italian columns inside the house.
See,
and
the thing is, you need
mounted lion heads.
It's kind of like...
And it's maids and...
It's like... Shut the fuck up, Ryan.
Luke has maids.
I do not have maids.
He has a maid. Sorry.
I'm perfectly healthy. I do not have maids.
He has a maid.
Anyways, as I was saying, it's like the Thestrals. You can only see my house if you're near to death. And by that time, I could probably take you in a fight, so...
Except for if it's the maid. She can see the house because she has to clean it.
Well, yeah, we gave her a pass.
Yeah, so there is a maid.
Not that I'm admitting to anything.
That's a classic, what I hear is called the Australian wit, Bartek.
I'd also like to point out this inaccuracy. If this car... yes, this car is a mirage, but if it was real, he would not be able to get in there without melting.
What? No, because the air conditioner's on.
But what about before it turned on?
But there is no roof or windows.
There's no air conditioner for that matter.
But he has a Slurpee.
He has a Slurpee, and now he's...
I thought that's actually how we make Slurpee.
No, I thought it was going to be better. I thought he was just going to, like, grab the rock and, like, smash it into his teeth. Like, Slurpee! And then just, like, he has no teeth for the rest of the film, and I thought it was going to be beautiful. But no, I guess you have to go the safer route, because this is made for adults, not kids.
Which of these two is sexier?
You probably have to see that by now.
I think the rock behind them is the sexiest.
Quite frankly, yeah.
I think it's Lewis, obviously. He's got the thing the dingoes want, which is...
He's got it going on.
He's got it going... Okay, can we talk about Lewis? Can we talk
Sure.
about...
We need to talk about Lewis.
You can, because honestly, I find him more attractive.
Lewis?
Alright, where do we start with Lewis?
Lewis... somebody wrote this character, and then somebody else went, yeah, this is the one I should play. Like, this guy went, yeah, I should play this guy. I can't get over in these films that somebody wrote them sometimes. Like, sometimes you have to step back and go, somebody created this. Somebody then also accepted the script, and then somebody else acted out the script. But Lewis, he is... Look, when I'm writing, Lewis isn't the character I would think of to write. That's the best way to describe Lewis for me. I wouldn't have written him, but thank God somebody did.
Yeah, and I'm always, on the other hand, like, of course someone wrote it.
Yeah.
Luke, your feelings about Lewis?
Lewis is the everyman. He's what everyone wants to be. Everyone aspires to be Lewis. Lewis will deliver us from this hellish wasteland.
Yeah.
Having said that, Lewis is also a fucking idiot.
Oh.
Like all great heroes. Homer Simpson, Oedipus, the whole Jetson family.
Yes. And what about
you?
Dude,
real talk. Who's your favorite Jetson?
The robot.
That's not a Jetson.
Rosie was not a Jetson.
Motherfucker, she was part of the family.
Fun fact, Luke likes maids.
I do not have maids.
He has a maid, and he likes the maid in the Jetsons. It's all coming together.
It's another sign this movie is meant for adults, because he grabbed her boobs.
And they're real.
And she's... what did she do? She punches him? Headbutts him?
No, she beats him to death.
She tambourines him.
Okay, everyone get ready, because here we go.
The dream sequence.
The dream.
The sequence that they used in the trailers.
I have a Polish friend who loves Rapper's Delight.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does he like this?
You know what? I have no idea.
You should find out. You should find
Also,
out.
I want to point out.
And I can sing.
His jacket.
Hip-hop. Yeah.
White and red.
Oh. Polish
colours.
But it's mainly red. It's mainly red.
See if you can follow this extremely metaphorical dream.
This dream sequence is up there with other great dream sequences in cinema. It reminds me so much of Requiem for a Dream.
Except without the heartrending tale of...
It's a heartrending
Yeah.
tale of kangaroos. Oh, here it is.
Well,
Christopher
this one
Walken as a kangaroo.
It's
He's
your
done
worst nightmare
he's
come
done
to
literally everything else in his career, so why not be a talking kangaroo?
life.
Finally.
Yeah, why not indeed?
Now, earlier I was saying why did can you believe someone wrote this and whatever. I can out of every single actor, out of every single movie we've done so far, Bartek, I can actually believe Christopher Walken picked up the script and went, "Yes, this is the one I've got to do. This is going to put me back in the map."
He needed a game changer, and this was it.
Well, Christopher Walken's thing is that he'll accept anything
Yeah.
for the experience, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
So
Him
it's
and
kind
Samuel
of a
Jackson.
moot
That's what I
point to
love
say
about
that
it.
he'll accept something.
Yeah, but you still would have think sometimes those people will still look at the script and be like, but I can still picture Christopher Walken being like, yeah, this is good. Sal is the guy. My condition is I got to play the kangaroo. I've been getting prepared, and that's when you see him. He's been like hopping the whole entire day.
Yeah.
It's like I've been
He takes it
preparing.
very seriously.
Yeah, so this film, multiple layers. Yeah, I can't get it.
Like
yeah.
an onion.
Like an
I will not
onion,
let
it
you
makes you
forget.
cry the closer you get in.
Yeah. Okay, Bill Hunter is about to go up against Mick Taylor. At least that's how I wished the scene would go down.
It's Mr. Smith.
He's only going up against Celeborn of Lothlorien.
Oh, I thought it would go down that he'd go down against Rosie from the Jetsons.
Yep, Luke likes his maid fights. Luke likes maids
Dude,
because he has
Luke,
one.
you know what you'd love? You'd love anime. They got
Bartek,
lots of maid fights.
I've missed your humorous anecdotes.
I thought he got stabbed just then when I
Yeah.
first watched it with Luke. I'm like, did he get stabbed? And then we had to rewind it and listen to the sound. It's like, no, he just got
I
punched.
was, yeah.
She covered up her boobies.
It's a call.
Because
It's a
he's a
callback.
callback.
There was a scene earlier where
Yeah.
he grabbed her breast, so that was a callback to that.
I do
Yeah.
believe
See if you can follow along here, people. It's a roller coaster. You got to stay on your toes.
this film is
This is
quite...
no fucking around.
Luke's definitely serious about
It's
this.
because the
Ryan,
film has
this
taken a
guy is-
dramatic
yeah,
turn.
yeah.
They're no longer going to die. Mr. Smith and Michael Shannon are both on the hunt. It's nighttime. Nighttime is when things happen.
Night time's the right time.
Exactly. To rock the night away.
Oh, alright. So, she was in Planet of the Apes as
one?
the human?
Which one?
The human girl.
No, no. Which Planet of the Apes movie?
Well, obviously one with Charlton Heston.
When he said which one, I thought he was talking about which. You said she, so which woman? I was like, what? Are you talking about the female kangaroo at the end of the movie? Or something?
No, she's in the Charlton Heston
Ah.
Planet of the Apes. She's the Statue of Liberty. And he's like, damn you all to hell. And she's just standing there really green.
She's lost a lot of height since then.
No, they're just all really tall.
Ah,
Charlton Heston's really short.
I see.
Whoa, the sun went up quick.
Sun does go up quick in
Sun's
Australia
up,
because
guns up.
we are in that weird zone in which, one moment it's nighttime, the next it's daytime. You blink and there's the sun, and you're like, oh, and then you blink again, there's night. It happens, especially during daylight savings.
Oh,
I'd
this
also,
scene.
yes, this is where the film really shows off its mature acting chops.
Yeah, there wasn't enough fart jokes in
Yeah.
this film actually. Unlike Thunderpants, if you want a film that's full of farts,
This scene.
watch Thunderpants and this scene. And also,
Back to back.
And also, oddly enough, Sophie's Choice. Again, Luke, you should really watch it. It's a great film.
The funny thing is, with no noise in this scene, they're waving their hands around, but otherwise the farts just look like a bunch of awkward silences.
No awkward silence.
Oof.
I do like
A
the fact.
rapier wit, everyone.
I do like the fact that he actually did get berries that were okay to eat. They just made you fart. But other than that, like, he would have... Oddly enough, Lewis would survive. I mean, in all fairness, though, he did ask her if they're berries you can eat, but he also picked them and went, oh, these will be good.
So another thing that makes this scene clearly stand out is that the very last line of this sequence was one of the 3 things I remembered from this movie from my first experience watching it as a child.
Ah, so you're not... So you saw it and then forgot about it.
I forgot about it except for 3 things. The dream sequence, which was mainly just the rapping.
Yeah.
The beach scene, because I related to popcorn, and this line right here. That one was me. For some reason, when I watched that, I was like, I remember that.
Now, I do appreciate the fact Luke has not drunk that much during this because there's nothing much to drink through.
Yeah, but trust me, it'll get there.
Yeah, we're nearly an hour through the film, Luke, so not much.
Yeah.
I love this scene about how frank they are with each other. Like, Michael Shannon's like, what happened? And the other, I just love Bill Hunter. He's also so frank. Like, these two are the most honest people in the film.
They really
are. And they're both just like, yeah, so this happened. And he's like, yeah, sad. Can I get in? Sure. And they're like, that's the whole scene. But
he's not heartless, you know. He's
Michael Shannon is a cold-blooded killer, but he's got a heart of gold.
He has morals.
He has morals?
Behind that
Yeah, he picked a good movie
stone
to be in.
face.
He picked a really great film to be in.
Look, kangaroos, whoa, that's Australian.
Yeah, it's just to remind you all we're in Australia.
So
no one here has an Australian accent in this scene.
Not in this scene. The kangaroo does. Bartek, you were telling me you looked up some stuff about Kangaroo Jack. About Michael Shannon, you were telling me.
Yes, one of the few things I did look up. Clearly, you know, we're praising him, but as it turns out, further down the line, he became less than...
Corporate sellout.
I was going to say, like, the word, he became less than good in terms of being a person.
Yeah,
Apparently, this movie is his old shame.
Really?
He's ashamed of this.
Apparently,
I would be proud.
Where are your mistakes, Michael?
See, the thing is...
Mistake.
You know,
as he sees them.
Specifically what he said was... Well, I'm not quoting him, but this is what I read. Apparently, he's disturbed by the fact that the kangaroo rapped.
That
Like, it wasn't even something he did.
That's the thing that disturbs him out of everything in this film.
Yeah, apparently that is the thing that disturbed him. Nothing that he did, just... Look, he's having fun here.
Yeah, look, he looks
Look at that
like...
smile.
He looked like Tommy Wiseau.
He looked...
like,
but did you
"I'm
see that?
having
Just as the
fun."
smile went off his face, he just...
And then they chuck him out. I thought they killed him because he felt like a
Look at
fucking
that.
doll.
He's got
And
a
I
bit-
think,
yeah, exactly. He's got
but it's not a
ragdoll
doll,
physics.
so that's what I find amazing.
Yo, you pissed
Man,
off
he
the wrong
looks a little
Aussie.
bit like my media teacher from Year 12.
I never
What,
should've
Bill
left the pub,
Hunter?
Bill. True words, never
Your
spoken.
your media teacher looks like Bill Hunter. Maybe it is Bill Hunter.
Actually,
Maybe he does teach
you know,
media in year 12
for real,
high school.
For real, do you know what my media teacher, who my media teacher looked like?
Bill Hunter.
No.
Oh, wait, they just said Kangaroo Jack.
Oh,
Alright.
Ryan.
I
Gosling.
special
lied.
treat, you
I'm
know.
sorry.
No,
There you
but,
go.
but that media teacher, he looked like the grandfather from Troll 2.
Oh, you mean Bill Hunter?
Yeah, Grandpa Seth Hunter, Bill Hunter.
Yeah. Oh, culturally appropriate.
Yes,
It's a
indeed.
reference to the people that Luke lives not
It's
far
a
from.
reference to
Yeah,
the people
look.
that they didn't really want in the film.
Yeah, so we took
Oh,
their
there's
land,
one.
gave them smallpox.
There's one, Bartek says.
Only because we care.
Yeah, right there.
Lewis,
Oh, that was a bad joke.
you're a bad joke. I like that, you know, they had the montage of them getting prepared to kick the
Yeah.
kangaroo's ass, and then,
Oh,
oh
shit.
no,
Okay, bull
There's some
ants,
brown people.
real talk.
they're bull ants, right?
Bull ants are creepy because they will actually try to attack you, like, with small-minded determination.
Why not? I would attack you too, Luke. I hear
Yeah,
how
but-
you treat maids. You make them fight each other. It's not
Ryan,
good.
Shut up.
What?
You know, now that I think of it, that is what the Flintstones was missing. They didn't have a maid, did they?
They
No, but they had a
did. It was
dinosaur.
called Wilma.
It's
Ow.
funny because she was the wife, but you're calling her a maid because she stays at home.
Oh boy.
She was a stay-at-home cave woman. She knew what she was worth.
Talking about stay-at-home cave women, where is the kangaroo's wife?
Maybe
Well, at
I
home.
don't know, on a business
At
trip.
home in the cave. But
Okay.
Matrix. This film was
Lewis,
inspired.
once
This
again,
film,
you fucked
yes,
up.
take it out. We've been wanting to see Lewis'
Yeah,
dick through
We
the
had a
film.
shirtless scene just now. We're about to step it up a bit.
Yes.
All right, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. That scene didn't have
Look, he's
enough.
saying this is great. He likes it.
Yeah,
I like
he
it
approves.
too.
Bro,
He's disguising it, but
Bromance.
he approves.
Look
He's
at him
pointing down.
Pointing at his dick.
like,
This has to happen now.
suck.
If you know what I
suck
mean.
it. She has not gone on to do that much, oddly enough.
No, I looked
I think
her up.
I would
She's-
retire. I would retire after this
Oh,
film.
it basically killed her career, I think.
What
According-
killed? You mean it was so good that she was like, I better step away from the limelight because if I do another film after this one, my film career is just going to go down the toilet because nothing can surpass my work on Kangaroo Jack.
Well, according to TV
Yep,
tropes,
that could also be it.
according to TV tropes, this film was the career killer of Charlie and the girl.
Charlie?
Yes, actually, you're right. Yeah.
Charlie, I'm sure he... Oh, they chucked him out too
They've
on
definitely-
his face.
They've definitely had more work. By the way, that was a callback to my media teacher being thrown out.
I mean, the guy from Troll 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
here we have the incredibly gratuitous bathing scene.
Not enough nudity in this adult
But there's
film
some nice
for
wet
adults.
t-shirt stuff.
Not-
Physics going on. Not you, Charlie. I meant her.
So, Luke, when you go to your local waterfall,
Yes.
do they actually get shirtless?
Yeah.
Well, in a lot of cases, people also start to peel their skin off if it's red enough.
Really?
It's a tradition. Yeah.
That doesn't
Do they
sound
also-
Australian. They sound like they just tan automatically.
Yeah,
That
they're not
sounds
doing
like
it
a
right 'cause they're
filthy
out-of-towners. They don't know
European,
shit.
like Luke, who's Italian, who goes there and gets burned at the beach.
Yeah, but I assimilated myself so well, no one
He's-
can even tell.
He is assimilated so
Yeah.
well, I can't
This-
tell
this-
through his
I need to take.
Luigi accent.
I know I haven't been as good about this as I usually am, but yeah, this scene is a drink. So.
Why do you say that? This
Because
film-
she's not sexy enough because she's wearing a choker.
Because the whole sexual tension thing is played so badly here.
What do you mean? It's played
I mean,
perfectly.
Look at his face.
Ugh.
I
Keep looking
What's
at
with
his
his
face.
physique? He runs a beauty parlor. That's literally all he does.
have you not met men who work in beauty parlors? They're always fit.
Yes.
Not your little Italian barber, Luke,
Hey,
who
do
trims
not
your
disrespect my Italian barber, please.
No, the one who is working in the beauty salon. They're usually pretty fit. Luke does not get out very much.
I don't go to many beauty. See,
He stays at home,
Snakes
telling his
cut his
maid
hair.
what to
every
do.
time I try to go to the beauty parlor, some guy in a fucking post-apocalyptic motorbike tries to take my shit. So
What, the guy who played Louis?
yeah, actually, I think he's a relation.
Every time I try to go to the beauty
Australia is a bad place, kids. Don't go there.
You interrupted me, Luke.
The Polishman will also get angry at you.
I can't believe he interrupted me.
Go
I'm
on.
not even.
I'm
gonna,
sorry, I don't want to.
I'm not even gonna finish my line, and it was a very good one.
Kiss.
Go on.
Oh,
Okay, I'll tell it
Jesus.
anyway.
Go on, my son.
Every time I go to the beauty parlor, they're like, "No, we can't make you more beautiful. You're already perfect."
That's damn right, Bartek. People, know your worth. You are beautiful, each and every one of you.
Yep.
Me, every
Except-
one of me.
Except for Luke.
Yes, except for me. I'm an ugly
Oh,
motherfucker.
look at that! Look at this.
He is as ugly as Jackie Legs.
Now, did you notice in this scene one of these guys' necklaces? Or,
I noticed the guy who looks like Willem Dafoe.
I think it's not the guy who's not on screen at the moment right now. He's got a.
The one who looks like Willem Dafoe.
Where's me moolah?
Where's me more?
Which is Australian slang for, I hope you're having a nice day. Is there anything I can get you?
Oh,
Why is it a question then?
Because is there anything I can get you is also a question, Ryan.
I don't know. You made two questions.
It's an
Hope
opening
you're having a nice
statement
day.
followed by a question.
You're an opening statement for
Yeah, that guy there. The thing around his neck is an upside down cross.
Oh, that means he loves Blue Oyster Cult.
He loves kangaroos.
Yeah.
An upside down cross does look like a
See,
kangaroo.
the left and bottom, protrusion is the legs. The one on the right is the tail, and the thing up there is its head because they're very tall.
Thank God you're here to tell us.
I'm the host. Of course, I'm meant to be here.
Okay. Oh, he drew his knife.
Oh,
call that a knife? This is a knife.
Luke made a reference. Ooh la la. Ooh.
Oh, bloody oath, mate.
That is a weird thing. Why don't they ever reference knifey spoony in this film?
I don't know. Maybe because they couldn't get the
No.
copyright to it.
Which is a bullshit.
But it's a national thing that we do.
So here's the big
Luke
argument
does.
in my
yeah,
film.
This is where the distrust comes from.
So here's the argument, Luke.
Yeah.
In film world, especially Australian cinema, is this an Australian movie?
That depends. What makes an Australian movie?
Exactly. But is this an Australian movie?
Well, it certainly takes place in Australia, has Australian characters, but the protagonists
Australian actors, yes.
are overwhelmingly American.
Sydney was in it.
Yes, but is it an Australian movie or is it not?
I'm going to say maybe.
Maybe. That is, it's hard because it's like...
straddle the fence.
Is Babe an Australian movie?
I don't think it is.
Australian director, Australian actors, some of which are American actors, but American production crew. Does that make it an Australian film? Is this an Australian film?
I don't know.
I don't think it is. I mean, Jerry Bruckheimer. But it is weird, like, what constitutes a film, like, nationality? Is it like Finding Nemo? Is that an Australian film? You brought it up. It's got Australian actors. And it's got Australian crew behind it, Australian productions behind it, but it's also financed and made via Disney.
I'm going to say that Finding Nemo is an Australian film.
Why?
Because it felt like one to me.
But not Babe.
No, actually. Not Babe.
But Babe... Mad Max, Fury Road. Is it an Australian movie?
Yes, it is.
But it wasn't filmed in Australia.
That's neither here nor there.
American production behind it. Australian director / writer. And some Australian cast. But also American and English leading cast.
Would you say then that an Australian movie is nothing more than the sum of its parts?
No, but that is the... I don't necessarily say that. I'm just arguing of what the arguments you hear in the film... Well, it is. What constitutes an Australian film? Mad Max, the original trilogy, can be argued as Australian, but Mad Max Fury Road is not Australian.
If we wanted to get really technical, you could say unless all of it is Australian, then it isn't. But that's a really extreme view to take. So.
With films like these, they're clearly American films filmed in Australia. At most, they probably work together with like Australian casting agents to get like extras and actors to be in it that are Australian. There's a Bollywood movie called Salam Namaste. It's filmed entirely.
Is that Polish?
Yeah, Bollywood film made in Poland.
Yeah, Salam Namaste. It's got to be.
Salam Namaste, and it's completely filmed in Melbourne. But I wouldn't call it an Australian movie because
I would call it Polish.
It's a Bollywood movie. Which makes it Polish. Yeah. At my house, we watch a lot of Bollywood films, because they're Polish. Big black man.
12 big black men.
Yes, please. Hey, what?
He looks like
skinny white boy with a gun.
Yes, please. What?
Is that the sequel?
Well, his last name is Italian, and that probably does mean that.
You're Italian by descent, is it?
Peverelle means doesn't know what he wants.
Oh, it's Peverelle.
Drowning in...
I've been calling you Peverelle the whole time.
Neuroses.
Is it Peverelle?
No, I just say that to fuck with people.
I've been calling him Peverelle the whole time.
Sorry, Bartek, you're right, it is Peverelle.
I said pepperoni.
Sorry, it is pepperoni. I don't know my own self.
I do.
Okay, here's the only drug scene in the movie. This is pretty graphic.
As someone who likes...
look away if you have a faint heart.
As someone who likes spicy food, I wouldn't mind trying one of those. Such a good dancer.
That is Luke salivating over the kangaroo.
And his freak out.
Over a bowl in his
I'm
mouth.
like one of those masochist fellas.
Why
do they do that? We haven't had one of those like screen flash.
It happened when they first went to Sal's house.
We haven't had one of them for a while.
Why did we need to know where they are? Can't it just be desert? But we needed to know it was Owen Springs.
Well, it matters to... Luke's playing a character here, but it mattered to him because he recognizes this place.
Yeah, this is my hangout. This is where I put all the bodies.
Like, Luke has barely drunk anything because he knows that this film is too good to drink through.
Look, it's easier to drink along when I can just watch it and hear the noises.
But tough, because you can't, so you now know how brilliant it is.
You ever killed a man, Charlie?
I do love how sexual this gets.
Yeah, this is very overt.
Overtly sexual?
Yeah. Look at that face. He wants it.
Mr. Smith.
Will you give it to him?
He's holding a thick, long object. So that's...
You're a thick, long object, Luke.
Fly went into his ear.
Fly went in his ear, Luke. Is that true?
Bad.
It's a reference to Troll 2 and Indiana Jones and the first one.
I thought it was a reference to The Fly with Jeff Goldblum.
Well, Jeff Goldblum is probably still the Fly at this point.
Brundlefly.
Oh, no, this moment is actually really cool because you get contrasting bad guys.
Yeah, but they don't know that they're bad against each other. Like,
Yeah.
Mr. Smith's like, thank God you're here finally. And he's just like, yeah, I am.
This is another callback to Michael Jackson, because you got to ask yourself, who's bad?
You must be Smith. You're not wrong.
You're right. Michael Jackson does bring a lot of questions
yes,
into this. Like, it doesn't matter if you're black or white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With everybody here being white except for Lewis.
Yeah, you got to be starting something when you got a bunch of guns on you.
All right.
But hey, it's okay because everybody's white except for one, and everybody's a man except for one.
Yeah,
so
so
I
we
guess
have-
all the minorities are covered.
Yeah, they're in their place.
And we made sure to mention that Michael Shannon might like men. So every
Like
group is
Mike.
like Mike. We should do that.
Yes. Can we put
Like
that on the
Mike.
next one?
What was like Mike about again?
Oh,
It
this
was-
kid, he gets these...
Shoes?
Orphan.
Yeah, who make him a pro
Yeah, and
basketball
Crispin Glover is like the owner of the orphanage or something,
Yeah.
right? And he's supposed to be the villain, but from when I watched it, it seemed like he's only making reasonable requests
He
because
calls
they're
everyone an
exploiting the
idiot,
child.
and he does some gambling debts. That's the extent of his evil.
But other than that, it's like he won't let him play basketball because it's like, oh, exploitation of children. I won't stand for that. But you're supposed to be
it's
like,
like,
that guy's
hey,
an
mate.
asshole.
Guys, give me a heart attack one movie at a time. Come on. Seriously.
I'm sorry, Bartek.
I like how... Okay, get this. He's pointing a gun at him, and he's like, I'm going to kill you. And then Mrs. Smith's like, no, that's not the deal. I'm supposed to. And then now they're arguing with each other. But near the end of the film, the main character only realizes that the money was going to be given to Mr. Smith to pay him so he could kill them.
Yeah, what?
But shouldn't they have figured this out? He should have figured this. They should have figured this out by now.
It's a very roundabout
What
plot.
would...
What was the money for, Bartek?
Well, no, but the thing is, what would have tipped off to them that it was a hit on themselves?
Well, they're both
Because
idiots, so they
Mr.
don't
Smith wants to. Mr. Smith's like, no, that's my job. Like,
Well, at this point, yeah, but what about before this?
He's
no,
a
I'm talking
competitive
about at this
person.
point now. But later, like at this point, they should know. But later on, they get revealed that the money was
now
going to be a
they
Yeah, but
hit,
right.
and they still are like, wait.
Well, at this point, it's all vague about a contract.
Yeah, but come on, you got to be able to figure out. They've already figured out that Mr. Smith's not Mr. Smith. That this contract is something shady, and now that they're wanting to be, now they're going to be killed.
Maybe he's attracted to Lewis.
Could be.
Who? Michael Shannon.
No, Mr. Smith.
Oh, so Michael Shannon and Mrs. Smith are gay. I knew it.
Well, I'm not talking about Michael Shannon. I'm talking about Mr. Smith.
Yeah, but we said Michael Shannon before was into guys.
I like how the
Yeah, well,
camels
that's-
can easily outrun the Jeep.
But not fast enough to
No,
catch a kangaroo.
exactly.
Well, he's
The
got
speed is really off at
Well,
this point.
you got to remember the kangaroo has the lucky jacket.
That's true.
Oh, that is true.
Plot-induced.
We haven't talked about the Lucky Jacket.
Yeah, can we
Luke.
get some love for the Lucky Jacket? Right.
If I wrote this film,
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
It's a plot device or an item.
What do you mean, a plot device?
No, sorry,
Device makes
it's
it sound like it's not
Sorry,
a character.
Let
It's
me
a
rephrase it.
character.
Ah, you would go so far as to say it's a character in its own right.
It has more character than Lewis, for sure.
You know what? I concur with that statement. It's got a rich backstory.
I see this.
Just shoot him, Michael.
He isn't thinking hard
He's got-
because
he's
he's
got a
like
very
conflicted because he's like, I
angry
love
face.
Lewis too. I love Lewis too. I don't want to kill my best friend Lewis. You know, before the Waffles, the dog. Remember
Yeah.
how that was a character they set up? Like, oh,
Yeah.
Waffles. And even then, they're like, do you think he's going to be okay with Sal looking after him? How is the dog not dead in the film? Like, you know, like how...
You saw the food that was on the table. He's probably used the leftovers.
Yeah, but like, how did Christopher Walken not kill Lewis's dog after he found out this information? But if you guys have watched Seven Psychopaths, you know that
Yeah.
in films like this, you can kill the women, sure. Animals, nah, can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, even the kangaroo came back to life.
This film
Yeah.
reminds me a lot of the film In Bruges, in which it's like
Great film.
two gangsters get sent to a foreign land that's supposed to be like wonderful. In case of Bruges, it's like a fairy tale. This one, it's like the outback, but it's gorgeous to look at. And they're both there, and you know, obviously, it's all a giant setup for a hit in the end of the people going there. You know, in the case of In Bruges, just one guy. In this one, it's two. This film inspired that film. This film inspires many films, Luke. Like, for instance,
Lewis nearly dies here.
Yeah. And for instance, we compare this, Bartek and I, especially me, I always compare a lot of these films to Citizen Kane because it's that good. Like, it influenced films made before it.
As in the Stephen King movie?
What?
You said it.
Oh.
You placed a lot of emphasis on the word. I assume you meant...
No, as in before this film. But yes, also before the film It.
Yeah, incidentally.
So nothing after It. No, so... Citizen Kane, I see a lot of similarities between the two. Like, this moment here, I don't necessarily remember a moment in Citizen Kane in which he's, holding a belt and be like, grab it.
If Orson Welles had directed this, I think it would have been very different.
So, Bartek, why did they need the money?
Yeah, why is it so important?
You wanted me to remind you around this point in the film, just before we started. You're like, right, remind me when Lewis is at the falling point to ask me, your theory on why they need the money still. Like, why do they still need the money?
Why do they need the money?
Yeah. I don't know. You said to remind you.
Yeah, and I've been trying for the last 5 minutes to remember what it was.
Bartek always is like, remind me, and I will, and then he has nothing to say. Shall I remind you that you have nothing to say? Bartek has nothing to say.
Here is your reminder. Lewis didn't die. Cheer or boo as you please.
Okay, now Luke, you've been pretty negative about this, okay?
I don't think I've been negative.
No,
I've been telling it as
I
it is.
feel like, you've been negative. Now, here's something I think out of all of these films, film, that all of these or underappreciated masterpieces, this film nails the one issue that I've had with each of the films. It was something I mentioned before that was the strength of each one of them too, which is the friendship between the two.
Yes,
right?
It is. The chemistry.
Now,
good.
Bartek has listened and has been a part of the other podcasts. Everyone should listen to them. They're fun. Luke hasn't because, Killjoy. But I have made the comments of, in Big Fat Liar, I didn't feel the friendship was genuine because each time he asks her for help, she reluctantly does it out of, oh, okay. Like he's tricked her into it. And then in Thunderpants, I feel like Rupert Grint and Bruce Crook's friendship is built only because they're the only ones who can stand being with each other for a long period of time. And in this one, that's what this is about. Their friendship is false at the core because it's built upon guilt. Because he saved him as a kid and he's been lording that over him his entire life. And there's eventually a point after all of this great piece of film in which Lewis actually turns around and says, you don't need me as your friend anymore because this friendship, we both know it, has been based on guilt. And that's what I think this film nails on the head. This film actually steps away and goes, this friendship is built on a mound of lies. It's built on false. It is all false. It's all built upon guilt. And I am actually happy that out of all the films we watched, this one, the third one that we have done so far, has actually addressed the issue that friendships can only last sometimes due to the company having been together for an extended period of time, but that isn't enough to sustain a friendship.
Yes.
I used to tell people, well, I say tell, but really I killed them. I used to tell people that they have not lived because they had not seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And it's clear to me now, as of yesterday when I rewatched this film in my old smartness age, that indeed I was wrong, that this film is the one that truly encapsulates friendship and the desert.
Which is two things you don't often see.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Well, you live
Lawrence of Arabia tried,
Well,
but it failed.
either, so.
Lawrence of Arabia tried to have friendship and the desert failed. See, this is the bit. Like, this is emotional. Like, I feel like this should have been Oscar-nominated performances right here. Like, Lewis is actually giving it his all. Like, he's like, no, dude, guilt was the glue that held this friendship together.
Yeah. This film did win one award.
What award?
Which award?
At the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards.
Really? An Adam Sandler movie didn't win?
It won the award for Best Fart Scene.
Oh,
really?
That's a hard one. That's
Over an Adam Sandler film?
It's pretty difficult.
Which Adam Sandler film has the best fart scene, Ryan?
Obviously all of them. You can't put them next to each other.
No.
Kevin James, I don't know.
They're all the same film. But this is an emotional moment where it's like this film recognizes that this friendship shouldn't last. But it teaches us a valiant lesson, which is they are friends. They've gone through so much. They stick with each other. The guilt isn't the glue. It's the love that's the glue. And yeah, that sounds yuck on a level because love being the glue.
Because glue is similar to semen.
This is like the second time in this series of podcasts in which cum and semen has emerged in films.
Well, I'm glad I came back.
Ew. Mm-hmm. And look, here he is, Jackie Legs. And Luke, this is the moment in which they resolve their issues. He's like, I'm sorry, Jackie.
He does it with grass. And
he's like, please give the lucky jacket back. Who is the best character of the film next to Michael Shannon and the kangaroo?
Great.
And Christopher Walken. Where is Christopher Walken?
Where is he? Like, I think he gets a little thing at the end, but not him. Just in the newspaper. As
if you would leave the people who were getting like attempted assassinations against them, leave them behind, like in the desert, and as you go lock up the other ones, you would first of all take the people who have been in mortal danger and take them to safety, and if not, leave policemen behind with them. But instead, the Australian police force, again, this film is truly based on true events, I feel, is true to the fact that the Australian police force will leave you behind in the desert if you are the one in mortal danger.
Look, if you die out there, nothing really bad will happen. They may have to write up a report, but we're pretty relaxed.
They looked at him and thought, "Oh, you look like Tom Cruise. You'll be fine."
He doesn't.
He does, yeah.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
You don't think Kangaroo Jack looks like Tom Cruise?
Jackie Legs. Yeah, I see it. Look, Luke. Here's his family with his wife and son. And the son kicks him too because it's like
Jackie
a joke.
Jr. Jesus Christ, they couldn't.
Jackie
they're not
Jr.
very original.
Oh, you're not original. You didn't write this.
Oh, the little one kicked him in the face.
And he should be blind.
Yeah, he should have skull fractures at the very least.
My favourite little bit was, I swear they used just the exact same footage as when he got kicked the first time.
I think so, yeah. Why are they laughing?
Because he got kicked in the face. It was so funny the first time. Oh, and here it is. You know it's good when the film flashes forward at the end and the narration's back out of nowhere. Oh, Sal, I love that. Oh, nips. She was in the water earlier and she got her nips poking out like that. But here she is on a boat.
On a pleasure barge, even.
And there they are. And there's Waffles.
And he got his eye fixed.
Yeah.
He had a problem with his eye?
Pink eye or something.
He had one eye was bigger than the other.
Oh, I didn't really pay attention.
One of the articles in the newspaper said that the White House was censoring something.
Was it Kangaroo Jack?
Yeah, this movie did get censored, didn't it?
I hope not.
In terms of like bad words.
Oh, and here's the bit where Lewis died.
Yeah, this is a callback to when he didn't die.
And here's him entering hell. And you could clearly tell that he smacked his head on the edge. And
he didn't stay there very long.
He died.
Yeah, so this is like a previous take.
And some nips from Lewis, in case you're into that. Oh, and the dog joined in too. And
Look at all the fun.
He's now dead. They're talking to his ghost.
Yeah.
Who knew it was a supernatural film? And they're in love. This reminds me a lot of Trading Places. Have you seen Trading Places?
I haven't seen that in a while.
At the end of the film, they all like win and they're all rich. And like one couple is on the beach and it's like, hey man, and like good job, and like they raise their.
There are other people on that.
Yeah.
Who are they? All right. Now we have a final word from our sponsor.
It should end with me, because you don't talk in the film. Shut up.
We have no classically trained actors.
I can sing, I can dance, I can
jump out of the way. Freaking Hugh Jackman, what does he think he is?
I didn't know
Gene
that.
Hackman, am I right?
Yeah.
Gene Hackman should have been in this.
Hackman.
Okay, man. No, that end reminded me of Trading Places, but here's a significant difference. In Trading Places, I think it's like Eddie Murphy and, and all that, like sitting on the beach and like looks over and the others are on the yacht and they're both like, good job and whatever. Yeah. And it's just the exact same, I feel like this influenced Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. And Lewis was Eddie Murphy, obviously. And, of course, the kangaroo was Dan Aykroyd.
Well, that is the movie.
Yep, so we have to ask ourselves now that you've seen the movie again, Luke.
Yes.
Who is cuter? Jack Jr. or Rosie from the Jetsons?
Probably I'm going to have to say Rosie from the Jetsons.
He has a thing for maids. Now, Luke, could you give us your final thoughts? A review, if you will, and a rating, whatever rating you want to give it out of whatever.
Okay. After having seen this film a second time, I can definitely confirm, without equivocation, that it is no better than the last time I saw it.
Oh.
And I really want my 100 minutes back. I would give this film to someone else. That is all.
No rating out of?
I give it a cool out of yes.
Wow, that was... Luke, you crazy joker. This show isn't about satirizing anything. That was so much satirizing about this film being so good that you were lying through your teeth about it being bad. Oh, I'm not used to that feeling. What about you, Bartek?
I'm just gonna finish the rest of my beer now.
I think you should go first, Ryan.
No, it's always you, man.
But the best for last.
Alright. Oh, pretty keen. Kangaroo Jack is a film in which I have many regrets about not seeing it in my childhood. I was foolish enough to think that this film wouldn't amount to anything and make a difference in my life. But this film is one that is a game changer. It is one in which, doing this series, I have come to appreciate film even more, because doing this series of unappreciated masterpieces, I recognize the unappreciated, but I can't help but notice the connections, and this film is like the ultimate puzzle piece. I love the humor, I love the drama, I love the acting, the special effects, I love everything about it, but I love how this film just connects everything together, how it shows the brutality of humanity, how it shows us that friendship can be rotten at the core but still last, but then if you scrape away that rot, in the middle there is a beating heart. I give this film I give it a solid hip hop, hippity hop, hip hip hippity hippity hop out of hip hops. Bartek, you claim that you have the best.
I did make that claim, but now I realize you had the best.
Thanks.
Okay. So, when we did Thunderpants, I had that rant about how, you shouldn't give numbered ratings to films. Sorry, that was just... Wow, what you said just there, I'm still overwhelmed by it.
I'm overwhelmed.
Hang on, I need a drink.
As he's drinking sound effects, because Bartek is so overwhelmed he needs to...
You got a drink to get through
Get some drinks in him.
Yeah, so I give the film 5 out of 5.
Thank you. Now, I'm mixing it up
even.
this week. I obviously each time will, at the end of our reviews, read reviews from IMDb on the film. This time I have mixed it up. I'm doing that, but I'm going to read some positives and some negatives, because believe it or not, there were some negative ones about this film. But that's like every masterpiece. There should be negative comments about it, because with things that last forever, there have to be people who love and people who hate. And I feel like I've let people down in the past because I could only find positive reviews of the previous films. But this one, I've included a negative one or two. Mm-hmm. I'm going to start off with a positive one. Or a more upbeat one, I should say.
Okay,
this review is called Enjoyable Stuff. The author is Corgi231, and I feel like Corgi231 has been a previous one that I don't know. I feel like I've already read Corgi before, but they gave this film 6 out of 10 stars. And this was written in 2003. I feel like I have to make it important that some of the dates with these ones, because you got to consider this was when Kangaroo Jack came out, so they may not have had enough time to reflect upon it. But
just to make it clear, this film came out 12 years ago as of this recording.
Yes, it is quite some time. This is what they had to say. I was intending to see Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, but the newspaper had the times wrong. So I ended up seeing this film instead.
Wow, God loves this person.
I love the backstory of some of these. The ads for the film don't do it justice. Don't get me wrong, this film is not Citizen Kane. You're right, it's not. It's better.
Yeah.
But for an easy way to spend a few hours in the theater, it isn't bad. The best things in the film are the settings. Sal Maggio's, in bracket, Christopher Walken, house is in Bensonhurst was perfect. Being an old Bensonhurst boy myself, I've seen those huge houses with big walls on small lots which are owned by second-rate mobsters. The Australian scenery was magnificent and has me wistful about getting the chance to spend a month there eventually. Oh, trust me, you need more than a month to take this in.
Mm-hmm.
The CG kangaroo is pretty good. Better than much of the CG in the last Star Wars atrocity.
Oh, ouch.
Which is what, like Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, I think so.
There's lots of good slapstick. The film ends stupidly, and Estella Warren cannot act. She makes Elizabeth Hurley look like Dame Maggie Smith in terms of acting ability.
That is a damning indictment.
Not even a clue. Not even the merest speck of talent. Stick to the catwalk, baby.
Oh,
Elizabeth
put that on the
Hurley
end of it.
is from this.
Bedazzled, yes.
I get her mixed up with Elizabeth Berkley.
If you like good slapstick and fairly decent chemistry between the two male leads, and you don't mind checking your brain at the door, I recommend this movie. That's what they had to say.
See, Luke, you're not meant to drink your brain to death. You're meant to leave it at the door.
Sorry,
Now,
man,
I'm going to read another one. This is a negative one. This is only number 30 on IMDb's worst. And the author is Agent 10. And they wrote this in 2003 also. And they gave this film 1 out of 10 stars.
Ouch. What? 10 stars?
Now, I told you I got to read the other side of the coin. There are people out there who don't like this. So this is what the person had to say. Truly, can Jerry Bruckheimer keep ruining his career? Pirates of the Caribbean better be good, or he won't be able to return to churn out the inevitable sequel, which will most likely follow this gutter trash.
Ooh, gutter trash.
Ooh, man, what can you not put down about this movie? You could start off with the pitiful Jerry O'Connell, round it off with a dull, obnoxious Anthony Anderson, and add in a what the hell factor with Christopher Walken.
Hey.
That's Christopher Walken's factor all the time.
Yeah, come on.
That wasn't in the review. That was just me
He's a
commenting.
national fucking treasure.
And you clearly have one of those movies which makes you want to put your money in a slot machine because it will most likely be put to better use. I just want to know how in the world did this... Whoa, Luke's coughing to death.
I'm dying.
I just want to know how in the world did this movie lead the box office? This person asks valiant questions.
There's a lot of questions in that review.
That was a dangerous one. That one, it did say a lot of negative things. They gave it a very poor review, but they did bring up valiant questions within, and it's always good to see the other side. Now let's see the other side of that, called Best One-Star Movie I've Ever Seen. The author is Monkey Lowercase Kelstar, and they gave this 10 out of 10. I know, 10 stars seems excessive, but this is one of the funniest movies that I've ever seen. Top 5. Ooh. I'm watching this movie as I write this. I've seen it a couple of times, and I swear it gets better every time I see it. It only got 1 star out of 4, which is the worst it can possibly get. And I understand that. Really. It is not the most intelligent movie in the world. However, if you feel like kicking back and relaxing, you feel like watching a movie that doesn't provoke thought or discussion, you feel like laughing hysterically, this movie's for you. I'll admit the entire premise of the movie is dumb, but it's funny. Genuinely funny. I love it.
Well, that's all you can really say about it.
Mm-hmm. These people encapsulate what is there about Kangaroo Jack. Kangaroo Jack is a film that is controversial. It provokes thought, discussion, feelings. That last review said it didn't, and they're entitled to that, but others say otherwise, and the negative one says negative things, and the positive one say positive things, but this film is one that can divide an audience, and that is why I feel it is unappreciated, because there may be more people who are on the negative side, and the people on the positive side cannot be heard through all the negativity. You got to consider Citizen Kane wasn't as appreciated as it should have been when it came out, and for quite some time it didn't get the Oscar win, and neither did Kangaroo Jack. This film, I recommend that everyone should watch this film at some point in their lifetime. I recommend you should watch it right now, after this podcast. After you enjoy this, you've heard this, if you haven't already seen it, watch it again, and then get some friends over and watch it with them, because I will tell you, this film is perfect to watch with friends, families, and loved ones. Any other thoughts, guys?
Yeah, just echoing what Ryan said, if you have absolutely nothing better to do with your time, if you are facing an existential abyss, if you are at the very end of your tether and you cannot fill the gaps in your pitiful existence, then this is the movie for you. Have a ball.
You can watch it without all of that too. Just watch the movie.
You can just watch the movie.
I mean, Luke watched the movie and he's so upbeat.
I am alive with
alcohol.
Yeah, I think it's like 3/4 of a beer.
3/4.
Wait a second, Ryan. Look at his neck. There's a. Is he wearing a mask? Let me take that off. Michael Shannon!
My God, you guys! I just want to have a beer. Why you gotta be so hateful?
Well, that
I knew it. It was Michael Shannon all along who was with us during this podcast. And next time, you'll not be Michael Shannon. You might be... Who knows who the next guest will be, and who knows what the next podcast will be. Bartek, do you have any other thoughts about Kangaroo Jack?
I'm just so shocked that...
I'm shocked that Michael Shannon's here too, and he
Surprise!
I should have known, because Luke would never not admit that he has a maid who cleans its house from... That should have been my
Just
tip.
so you
that
know,
it was,
I've been tested. I don't have maids.
He has serious maids, Luke Peverelle does, but Michael Shannon's fine. He doesn't need maids. Here's Kangaroo Jack. Anything to say about it?
I couldn't help but notice that there's a... I'm referencing what we're looking at on the screen right now. There's an option on the main menu called Kangaroo Commentary.
Yes, if you have the DVD or the ability to look up the special features, there is a commentary also for the film called Kangaroo Commentary, in which Kangaroo Jack does give you a commentary for brief sections of the film. I also recommend listening to that after you watch the film also. It is a perfect afternoon. Listen to us, watch the film, listen to that. Everyone's a winner.
Yeah, you know, I really like it. Like, we've mentioned Troll 2 on this show before, and even in this episode. Troll 2 has a documentary about it called Best Worst Movie. It shows that fans of unappreciated masterpieces, or masterpieces that aren't as appreciated as they should be, it shows that you can get more out of it by finding the people who have a real passion for it, much like our show here. So it's really, really heartwarming to see that there is actually something in Kangaroo Jack, which I feel doesn't have the fan base that it should have. And even within the special features of the DVD, you've got Kangaroo Commentary and normal commentary, marsupial magic, and I just think that's fantastic. Someone went to the effort of adding in best worst movie like extra features to this film. Well,
to end on that positive note, Luke, it's been great to have you.
Thank you for having me. It's been an experience.
It has been an experience. Bartek, as always, it's wonderful to see your face again.
And I didn't make a single mistake.
He didn't make a single mistake, especially not when he screamed excruciatingly loud just a moment ago.
Dude, come on, you gotta give it to me. I was really surprised.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Luke, I wish you could have been here. It was great to have you, Michael Shannon.
That's no problem.
Bartek, as always, wonderful to see your face again.
Well, I am one of the co-hosts. I'm meant to be here.
I know. I'm just saying it's wonderful to always have you by my side. Yes. And as always, you guys have been spectacular, wonderful, great listening people. We also now have the Facebook page up and running, so you could always give a look at that. Spit and Polish Presents. Eventually, we will get onto syncing up with iTunes and stuff like that. Just gotta start getting onto that stuff. But yes, social media for our podcast is up, active, and running. I always suggest that you guys, interact with us. Give your criticisms, advice, and suggestions for other unappreciated masterpieces, because Bartek and I, and maybe a guest, may not have all of those unappreciated masterpieces that you, the listeners, might be thinking. You guys might be sitting there going, oh, when are they going to do that film? And we might not ever think of that film. So if you feel like dropping in the line, do so. You guys have been great listening people. Have a good time.
Yes, thank you for not interrupting us.
That's all, folks.
Oh, that's a reference to the film.